Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and we're back out here in the garage for another First Impressions and Upcoming Projects video. And we have so much to talk about when it comes to firearms tonight. So I have to give a couple of caveats first, like always. Number one, you might notice with my voice, I don't sound healthy. I actually am. I think I'm kind of getting over a sinus infection thing, so I got this weird nasal drip, so I sound a little bit, I don't know, more whiny than usual, so I apologize about that. Number two, this is not a review. So I'm going to talk about this gun right here, the Glock 36, a first impressions of it because I just got it back from the range. And I took it to the range last night, hoping to shoot this and the last Kel-Tec that's on loan to the channel from my friend Jack. But because of the time change and the springing forward of an hour, I kind of lost an hour and I got a little bit tired. I was like, I'll go back and do the Kel-Tec later this week. So that's the last of the Kel-Tecs that I need to review. But I was able to get the Glock all filmed and done. So this is not my review channel. If you want to see my proper reviews, please go to my main channel. There's a link in the description below. Please don't tell me this is the worst review you've ever seen of any gun, because this is not a review. It's just my first impressions after getting the gun back. And then I returned a bunch of things to my friend D today. And you guys know that anytime I go and see my friend D, I'm dropping off amazing guns and picking up amazing guns. And yeah, I have a lot to show you tonight. So let's go over the first impressions of the Glock 36 first. So this is the last of the 45 caliber Glock pistols that I need to review. I have recently reviewed the 21, the 41, the 30, the 30S, and now the 36. And this is on loan to the channel from my friend Bill. And he loaned all those other 45 caliber Glocks as well. So thank you again, Bill. And this is the last of the guns that he lent to the channel. So I got to get this all cleaned up, filmed, so I can get all those back to him, hopefully very, very soon. So this is the single stack 45. And it kind of sticks out in Glock's lineup because it is a single stack pistol. And at this point, when Glock started making this, it was their only single stack pistol. And I think it was made in response to people that liked the Glock 30, but didn't like how wide it was. They made the Glock 30S, the slim version with the thinner slide. Essentially, it's this slide on a fat 30 frame. But I also think they marketed this gun to people like me when I was younger. So when I first got into guns, my first gun I ever bought for myself, just me starting my journey into firearms, was a Glock 17 Gen 3. And I always wanted, though, a Colt 1911. And eventually I saved up and I got one. It was a stainless steel Series 80. Was it the model 1991? So I was really into 45, and I wanted a 45 to carry as a CCW. But I could not at that time afford a small officer size 1911. So this gun kind of caught my eye because it was more affordable, and it had some of the features I was looking for that were 1911-ish. Well, it's not really anything close to it, but in my mind at the time it was. So it was a single stack 45, so we had the caliber, and we had the single stack, and it was affordable. So I was like, well, this might be able to scratch my 1911 subcompact itch for now. And the thing I discovered about this gun is that, for me, the one that I had was plagued with malfunctions. I would say the reliability of this gun was 85%, which is not good enough, in my personal opinion, to trust it for concealed carry. My issues were failures to extract and failures to feed. And based off of the reviews of other people and experiences of other people, they have always said this is an unreliable Glock. And I think it has to do with the magazines more than anything else. Because I think Glock has the feed ramps down, the internal mechanism down, the recoil springs down. I personally have just always thought it was the magazines, because this magazine deviates so much from Glock's traditional design. Now, the magazines we have for this review actually have an extended base plate. Bill, the owner, added these. So typically these guns hold 6, but these magazines hold 7. So still a pretty low capacity firearm. So what happened at the range? Well, I shot it better than the other Glocks. 45s. Not by much, but I will say the accuracy on this was about the same, maybe a little bit better. It felt good in my hand. I like the width of this gun. It feels good. It recoils a little bit snappier than the Glock 30, but that's to be expected because it's a lighter gun, both in the frame and in the slide. But I had malfunctions. In fact, the very first round you will see me fire out of this gun is a malfunction. And it wasn't even like a stovepipe. It was really weird. It was like the cartridge was like on its side. I don't know. You'll see it. So I had a couple of issues also where when the slide comes back, the round was extracted from the chamber, but it was like caught. It was no longer behind the extractor, but it hadn't ejected, which caused stoppages. That happened twice. And then twice I had where the rounds, when it would try to pick up one from the magazine, the rounds would nosedive. And that's what I remember with my Glock 36 that I had. So I had this weird nosediving issue. And that's what I experienced with this. So I had 3 different types of malfunctions. But I discovered, because I used the same mags in the same order, and I only had 2 for this review. I discovered that one of the mags not always, was the one that malfunctioned. The other magazine didn't have any malfunctions whatsoever, which tends to make me believe the problems with the Glock 36 stem more from magazines than anything else. So that, I think, is the flaw of this gun. Now, has Glock ever fixed them? I don't know. And I don't even think Glock has this in current production, because they only made these as Generation 3 guns. And I just don't think they were ever that popular sellers. So if you see one out there, they're probably like new old stock. I mean, who knows? Maybe they still make them. Maybe they're made for, California or Massachusetts or whatever. But I don't know if they've ever fixed the magazine problems. I think it's a magazine problem. Another thing that makes me think it's a magazine issue is sometimes with these mags, when I start to load it, especially the first round, the follower is like caught at the top. Like right now the magazine is empty, but if I put one in there, it would like stick and then it would go. And I think this is the good magazine, the one that didn't have any issues. It was the other magazine that I had issues with. So the reliability of this gun was probably 80-85%. And so for a gun that really is designed for CCW, I can't recommend it. The failure rate was just too high, and the malfunctions were not easy to clear because they were either stovepipes or things where I had to lock the slide open, literally remove the casing from the ejection port, and then I was able to continue on shooting. So this is also what my friend Bill was experiencing as well. So he was very curious on what was going to happen with this. I was able to get a few times through both magazines without a malfunction, but that was rarer than the malfunction. So the gun overall was about as accurate as the other ones, maybe a little bit more accurate. It was a comfortable gun to shoot. I liked the width of it. I liked the size, but it was malfunctioning a lot. So that is the Glock 36. So now I just have to go through all the range footage and write the bullet point script. The only mistake I made filming this is I forgot to show on camera the hollow points that I was using. Normally, if you watch my videos, there's when I do the hollow point test, I show you what it is, and I turn away and I shoot the gun. I forgot to do that. So I have to make sure in my script I remind you what ammo. I saved it. I brought it home. I saved the box. So I'll have to show that as well. That was the only mistake I made. But overall, it was pretty good. Pretty good. So there is potential in this gun, but in today's market, being such a low capacity gun, and actually it's kind of a bigger gun, like this is not a maybe Glock calls this a subcompact. It's not a subcompact gun. It's a little bit bigger. It's between a Glock 26 and a Glock 19. I put it more on the compact size. So I kind of feel like this gun is, I'm going to use this term now, obsolete. And people get so mad when I use that term. They're like, that one's not obsolete. Are you going to stand in front of it? No, I'm not saying it doesn't function or can't expel a projectile. I'm saying that there are just better options that have superseded this design, that are more reliable and might give you more function and practicality. But there it is. Really cool that I was able to review all of the 45 caliber Glocks. All right, so that is the first impression. So now let's get on to the upcoming projects. Man, oh man, where do I start? Okay, let's start with, you want rifles or pistols? Well, I can't see what you're saying because you're now in the future and from when I'm at. So we're going to start with rifles, I guess. Okay, so let's go over this one. And I'm sure this one's going to ruffle some feathers because every time I review something from Q, people say I review it wrong, that I'm not worthy of it. And even, believe it or not, Kevin Brittingham, the founder of Q, has even commented on one of my videos. And I responded to him, and he never responded back. But anyway, this is a rarer version of the Q Mini Fix. And this is called the Peace of Mind. Is it the Mini Fix or Peace of Mind Fix? Anyway, this is in 8.6. And it is integrally suppressed. And once again, I have to give a huge shout out to my friend D, because not only does he have an amazing collection, he's a super nice guy, because he put me on his gun trust. So he filled out all the paperwork so I can borrow this stuff, which makes me honored and humbled. So it means a lot. Thank you so much. So this is an integrally suppressed 8.6 blackout bolt action that was made in collaboration with, oh boy, I think the guy's last name was Johnson. I have to go look up the name. Somebody, I think he's out in California. His color is purple, so we have some like purple accents here. But this is one of the 100 that were made. That's it. It's a limited edition collaboration of Q. And this is, I said, a pretty darn rare gun. And if you love Q, maybe you know what this is. And of course it has the suppressor built in, or goes over the barrel. So let's take a look at this one. This is the this is the pork chop right here. So that's the suppressor we're running. Maybe I'll get a chance to review that as well. So I'll probably try to get the 2 reviews out of this. In fact, I have another 8.6 that I have to review that's over on the wall over there. That was kind of a custom build of my friend Jack's. And that's kind of next up on the chopping block as well. So I have that one to review. I got a lot of 8.6 stuff. So for me, the jury's still out on 8.6. I'm not really sure if I think it's all that great. Maybe for me, it's not practical. But I can see for some other people, it is. Really, really quiet. But I guess if you're a hunter and you're looking for something that's super quiet and short, compact weapons that are super accurate, it's probably awesome. So once again, we have the Q Mini Fix or Fix, and this is the, what was it called again? I even said the name. I keep forgetting. Peace of Mind. Peace of Mind. 1 of 100 units that were made. So there is that. All right. Next up, we have one that D laughed at me because he's like, I know you hate shooting these. We have another shorty with a full-powered rifle caliber. This is in 6.5 Creedmoor. This is the Noveske. Oh, let me get the model here. This is the No Def. This is the No Def SBR with an adjustable gas block. And he also put on a really cool green finished Night Force scope on this. This is supposed to be like a limited run too. And when he SBR'd it, he put on this B5 Industries camo pattern stock grip and foregrip on this. So 6.5 Creedmoor Shorty. I don't think I've ever reviewed one of those. He also lent me a bunch of suppressors as well. So all this stuff will get suppressed. We'll go over that in a moment as well. Last, when it comes to the... actually, this one's a pistol. This one is not SBR'd. So this one is a pistol. And this is the Daniel Defense DDM4 PDW in 300 Blackout. And this is actually pretty darn sweet. I haven't reviewed a lot of Daniel Defense products, but I love Daniel Defense. I think they make really nice stuff, and I like this stock. I was thinking I was not, and here on the workbench, I kind of tried it out because I think I have had issues with the Q Honey Badger stock where it kind of pinches my cheek. This one doesn't. It doesn't have any like super sharp edges, even though we have this little gap right here. It feels comfortable, and I feel like this is a much better PDW stock than a Q one. This is nice. It feels solid. It's nice. Okay, I say stock. Sorry, it is a brace. It is a brace. I have to be clear on that one. But I'm sure D is going to eventually SBR this thing, and but what it is, it feels solid. So 300 blackout. Little shorty, PDW. This is going to be a lot of fun, I think. And I hope it runs subs, but we'll have to see. I think he said it does. So let's see if that runs subs reliably. All right. So that is the rifles. Let's go over the suppressors next because we have some suppressors to do reviews on. And these were for these guns. As well for the reviews. So the first one we have is and actually this is one I've been kind of excited because believe it or not, probably my favorite suppressor company still is Silencer Co. And maybe it's a nostalgia thing because they were the first suppressors that I ever bought for myself. And I've always thought that initially they were brilliant when it came to their marketing and their designs. And they were kind of like the first on the scene. And they really made and was one of the founding people of making suppressors way more accessible. Because, 15, 20 years ago, the suppressor market was not like it is today. And Silencer Co. was one of those companies that kind of brought suppressors into the mainstream. But this is the Omega 30 cal. So this is the Omega 300? Is that what it is? I think it's the Omega 300. I have not reviewed any of Silencer Co.'s rifle cans yet. So I've always liked the little break they had out here. I want to say this one's more designed for hunting, I guess, but I guess you could use it as a tactical suppressor. But I'm a big fan of Silencer Co. So this is, all of these are going to be 30 caliber cans for all of these that you saw. All these rifles out here. He did lend me, actually something I've already reviewed, and I had to double check. This is the Huxworks Ventum 762, a suppressor that I have reviewed of Jack number 2s. And it was really, really good, and it works really well. So I won't do a review on that one, but I'll probably use it in some of the reviews of the rifles. Then we have the Sandman S 762. I've not reviewed a Sandman yet, and this is a hefty can, man. And all these are set up with the chemo system. So some people like that, some people don't. We also have the next one is the new Q. I think it's the 556 suppressor. This one is the Southpaw right here. Now. I have to see D a little bit later this week because he's going to have a rifle for me to put this on. He lent this and then was like, oh, I forgot to send you a host weapon because I don't have the mount for this. So I don't have one of the Q mounts. I don't have any of those. So I need something to use that as a host for this suppressor. So I'll get to check that out as well. Luckily, next week for me is spring break, so I will have plenty of time to make a lot of this content. And I think that's it for the suppressor. So now let's get on to the pistols. Okay, so this one is kind of interesting because I like Staccato. And Staccato came out with a pistol that takes Glock bags. And of course, in that review, I'm going to be like, because there's so many people out there that when it comes to any guns, especially rifles, PCCs, they always ask, does it take Glock mags? It's so funny. People hate Glocks. Well, not everybody, but there are people out there that hate Glocks. I hate Glocks. I hate everything about Glocks. And the first question they ask when it comes to PCCs, does it take Glock mags? Anyway, this pistol takes Glock mags. I mean, they have their own. This is a metal mag, but all Glock 17 mags will fit in this thing. And this is the model HD, is what they call it. And after reviewing so many 2011s, I have to say I think Staccato is my favorite company. They might not make the flashiest, they might not make the coolest, but they make a solid product for the price. Now, yes, they're still super expensive, but I will say I think you get the most 2011 bang for your buck with a Staccato. And I have shot some of, actually, I think I've shot a Staccato. I'm trying to think of which one. Was it the XL? Anyway, the one with the island barrel, the limited edition with the island barrel, I shot that one better than any other 2011. It was I couldn't miss with the damn thing. I think I could close my eyes and put like rounds on target like that. It was crazy. But Staccatos have been awesome. So it's going to be really interesting to shoot this with a Glock back because the magazines typically are the weak point in a 2011 design. And I guess this grip module is a different size and it feels fantastic. Man, does this thing feel great. It is like the perfect size for my hand. The way it's contoured, this thing is going to be, I bet, a blast to shoot. It's a compact, about a Glock 19 size. Man, does that grip feel, that thing just feels perfect. That's it right there. That's it. I think without even shooting this, which I don't even think D has shot this, I think he told me. So he's given me the honor of putting the first rounds through it. But as it sits here on the workbench, man, this thing just feels rock solid. And that is the best feeling 2011 in my hand ever. So we got that. And then finally, we have another Nighthawk. And I know my friend David loves Nighthawks. So he might be interested in this one. He probably already owns one because he's such a Nighthawk fan. This is called the, oh boy, I gotta look this up because they don't do a good job of putting it on their guns. This is, I want to say it's called the Boardroom. The Boardroom NDS is what it is. And this is one clean gun. And Nighthawk makes some just beautiful, beautiful stuff. I love the fact it's in stainless steel, or I'm assuming it's stainless steel. Man, does that slide just move on that frame like it's running on ball bearings. Man, that's just sweet. But if you know me in 2011s, you know this gun suffers from a major design problem in my personal opinion. Well, it's not a design problem, it's an aesthetic choice. I am not a big fan of the blocky front end. I mean, I do not like that sharp front end. I like a little bit of like the traditional like 1911 scallops here, or have some type of kind of rounding of the edge. Let me take a look at the Staccato real fast. Okay, yeah, see, look, I think this looks way better. So do you see how we have a little bit of an edge here, like it's still a sharp, like kind of a weird geometry, but it has like a little bit of a taper to it, a little bit of a scalp. That to me adds so much to that gun. That makes that gun look sleek and sexy. For me, and of course, I know it's just an aesthetic choice, okay? It's my personal opinion. You are free to disagree, and I know it is not going to change how the gun shoots. I think that's not as attractive. It's just, for me, it's not as attractive. I'm not saying it's lazy. I know it requires less machining. But for me, that just doesn't look good. It just doesn't look good. But the Nighthawks shoot amazing. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to take this one to the range too. So I have to say that Nighthawks probably are, I think Staccatos are my favorite of the ones I've reviewed. I think, Nighthawks probably number 2, and Atlas Gunworks is number 3. Those are probably my top 3 favorite 2011 manufacturers. But anyway, that one there. The Boardroom NDS, I think is what this model is called. But I got all the information that D sent on these. So these are going to be going in the queue for review. And I have to get to them. But next week, as I said, is spring break. It's also my birthday week. Very excited about that. I love that when it lines up on spring break. So I will be celebrating my birthday by going to the range and getting to shoot and review some pretty darn awesome, cool guns. So that's it for tonight. So tell me what you think about my first impressions on the Glock 36. And tell me what you think about anything I have on the table today that I got to get inside and start deciding what order am I going to review them in. So let me know your thoughts. What do you think about any of these guns? And do you also agree with my statement that I am the luckiest gun reviewer on YouTube and Rumble? Because I know there are people that do this way better than me, but I think in the end, I'm going to have reviewed way cooler guns than even the biggest channels out there. No one's going to be able to touch it. I mean, I'm telling you guys, I am the luckiest guy out there. I am blessed beyond words in so many ways, from my career to my wife to the success that I've had on this channel. And people can laugh and say, oh, your channel is so small. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah, it is. But I'm not trying to be like super big, but I'm super blessed. Man, I'm telling you what. I'm telling you what. So anyway, let me know your thoughts. And if you made it to the end of this video, the word of the day. What's the word of the day? The word of the day is going to be, ooh, I know what it's going to be. Edge. Edge is the word of the day because I don't like the edge of the flat side of the slide of a Nighthawk Custom. So there you go. Use that in the comment section, and I know you're a true vault dweller and can put up with me for a long period of time, which means you have a high tolerance of pain, so good on you. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you for joining me here in the garage, and as always, thanks for watching.